To use another simile, you see, I'm telling you, see, stand on your own feet. You can walk, you can swim, you are not going to sink. That's all that I can say. You know, as long as there is a fear, so long the danger of your sinking there is almost certain. Otherwise, you see, there is a buoyancy there in the water that keeps you afloat. The fear of sinking is the very thing that makes it impossible for you to let the movement move in its own ways. It has no direction. It's just a movement. It has no direction. You're all the time trying to manipulate and channel that along a particular direction so that you can have some benefits out of it. It is just a movement without a direction. I have to repeat the same thing in different words. That's what I have been doing all the time. If you read that, you will be surprised how repetitive the whole thing is. You don't.
Actually, we are rather fond of thinking as a man, as a human being. And I'm wondering if it is no what you said about it is just useful for reproduction of mankind and for obtaining food. For if we had no thoughts, we shouldn't continue to be, and we shouldn't eat. But why this rather funny animal is thinking all the time? Why, and just building all those thoughts and not just...
If you give, you say, I will ask you the question. You tell me, when do you think? Not why do you think, that's not the question. When do you think? I'm asking you a question.
Yes.
When do you think?
As far as I know, all the time.
All the time. And for what is responsible for your thinking, you see? No, I think you haven't yet answered my question.
Like
when do you think? When you want something, you think. It's very clear to me.
Not at all.
Of course, yes. You don't even know that you are thinking. You see, do you know that you are thinking now? It's an automatic thing.
It's an automatic
thing. It's an automatic thing. You don't even know that you are thinking. And so why this sudden interest in wanting to find out why you are thinking? You see, I don't even know that I'm talking. You don't even know that you are talking. You know? When you ask your question, you say, then you say, am I thinking? You say yes. You would say yes. That yes also is an automatic thing.
Well, I don't care if it's automatically or not. There's a lot of automatically.
The whole thing is an automatic one.
But
whatever is put in there, when you are stimulated, comes out. You see, they use the jargon of a computer language. The input has to be there. You understand? So this has been going on and on and on and on. So when there is a stimulation, it comes out, you see. So if it is not there, you see, it stops. So that's the reason why you go on, you see, acquiring this knowledge, feeding it all the time. It's the computer. Since after all, it's an automatic thing that is there.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you know? You know a lot, you see. You have gathered all this from various sources and filling it up. Most of it is not necessary, you see. So you know a lot and you want to know more and more and more to use it, you see. Of course, yes. There is no such thing as knowledge for the sake of knowledge. It gives me a power. It gives you power, you see. Knowledge is power, you see. You know, I know, you don't know. So that gives you power. You may not even be conscious of that, you see. You are knowing more than the other gives you a power. So in that sense, knowledge is power. And to acquire more and more knowledge, other than the knowledge that is essential for the survival of the living organism, is to acquire more and more power over others. To accept the technical knowledge that you need is to make a living. That is understandable, that's all. I have to learn, you see, a technique. Otherwise I can't, the society is not going to feed unless I give something in return. And what they want, they know, you see. You have to give what they want, not what you have to give. See, what have you to give? You have nothing to give, you see, anyway. So, otherwise what value has this knowledge for you? To know more about this is something which you really do not know. But anyway, we are all the time talking about thought and thinking. And if somebody asks you a question, which I am asking you a question, what is thought? Have you ever looked at thought? Let alone controlling thought, let alone manipulating thought, let alone using the thought or achieving something, material or otherwise. You cannot look at your thought because you can't separate yourself from thought and look at it. You see. The illusion that you have is the knowledge you have about thought is all that is there. There is no thought independent or apart from the knowledge you have about those thoughts, the definitions you have. So if somebody asks the question, what is thought? Any answer you have is the answer that is put in there, the answers that others have given. And you have, by combinations and permutations of those ideations and meditations about thoughts, created your own thoughts, which you call your own. So just like, you see, mixing up, you see, different colors, you see, you create, I don't know how many thousands of pastel colors we have. Basically, all of them can be reduced to only 7 colors that you find in the nature. So even the 7 colors you see, they are not actually 7. You see. Anyway, I don't want to go into that whole color scheme in nature and all this. So what you think, you see, is yours is the combination and permutation of all those thoughts, just the way, you see, you have created hundreds and hundreds of pastel colors. You have created your own ideas. That is what you call thinking. So, but when you want to look at thought, what is there is only what all you know about thought. I don't know. Otherwise, you can't look at thought. There is no thought other than what is there, what you know about thought. This is all that I am saying. So when that is understood, you see, the meaninglessness of the whole business of wanting to look at thought comes to an end, because it's not possible. What is there is only what you know, the definitions given by others. And out of those definitions, if you are very intelligent and clever enough, create your own definitions. That's all. So it is like any other object you have around you. There are so many objects, So when we look at it, you see, the knowledge you have about that comes into your head. So there is an illusion that the thought is something different. So it is you that create the object. The object may be there. But the knowledge you have about that object is all that you know. Apart from that knowledge and independent of that knowledge, free from that knowledge, you have no way of knowing anything about it. You have no way of directly experiencing anything. We started with that. When I use the word directly, it does not mean that there is any other way of experiencing things. That's a wrong word. Directly implies that there is some other way of experiencing things directly, other than the way you are experiencing things. So the knowledge you have about it is all that is there, and that is what you are experiencing. Really, you don't know what it is. In exactly the same way, when you want to know something about thought, experience thought, it is the same process that is in operation there. There is no inside and outside. What is there is only the operation, the flow of the knowledge. So you cannot actually separate yourself from thought and look at it. So when once such a question is thrown at you, what should happen is that giving all the answers is no meaning, because all that is acquired and thought of. So that moment stops. So there is no need for you to answer the question. There is no need for you to know anything about it. So all that you know comes to a halt. Not literally, so it has no momentum anymore. It slows down. So then it dawns upon you the meaninglessness of trying to answer that question, because it has really no answer at all. The answers that others have given are there. So you have nothing to say on that thing called thought, because what all you can say is what you have gathered from other sources, and so you have no answer of your own.